This episode of Tea with Jules is proudly brought to you by The Home. You can shop any of the items you see in this episode at thehome.com.au. Joining me for tea today is 23-year-old stand-up comic and filmmaker Neel Kolhatkar. His videos on YouTube have millions of views, making him internet famous. With insight beyond his years, Neel offers commentary on subjects like youth, media, gender and race. He's opinionated, smart and not afraid to be the voice of Generation Y. And after winning the Melbourne International Comedy Festival National Class Clowns competition at the tender age of 15, he continues to win over his ever-growing audience. I'm so interested to talk to Neel today to find out about what drives him, his passion to preach controversial issues, to see why he loves to make people laugh and how he comes up with such quirky sketches. I'd also like to know if being internet famous is all it's cracked up to be and how he handles it so well at such a young age. Making me feel like a very old lady today, here is Neel Kolhatkar. Welcome to Tea with Jules.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we've been talking off camera and you're a tea drinker.
I do love my tea. I love green tea and chamomile tea. Those two are my favourites.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, today we've got English breakfast.
Okay,
We're
I
just
can
gonna
do
have
English
it
breakfast.
just
I can do it.
straight English
yeah,
breakfast.
Oh no, you can't do it with milk. No.
Oh, so you're against milk and tea?
Yes,
Are
100%.
you?
Very against milk and tea. No sugar either.
Yeah, right.
So I just drink it black.
Yeah. Do you know what? That makes you an authentic... Oh, there's milk in this cup.
Oh, okay.
So
I think I missed out on some of the milk. You got a lot of the milk in there.
you've got no milk and I've got milk.
Yeah,
I don't know how that
I
happened.
think the teapot has just got a mind of its own.
Yeah,
You
it
can tell.
just invented some milk there in my
Yeah.
cup. Yeah, that's a very authentic thing to drink tea without milk
Okay.
and sugar.
Yeah.
And I'm off sugar right now.
Oh, okay.
So I used to have 2 and then I went down to 1 and now
Right. So no
none.
sugar at all in your entire diet?
None.
Wow. So
For
what
5
about
weeks.
fruit?
No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a
Good
very
luck.
big deal. If you know me, it's a very big deal.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's
so
it going so far?
It's awful.
Yeah,
Yeah, I want
I can
to
imagine.
punch things. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But I do feel better. I do feel a bit clearer in my mind.
That's good.
More energized.
Oh, that's good then.
Yeah. So anyway, enough about me.
Yeah.
This is about you.
Yes.
So can you just take me back a little bit to why you got into this? So YouTube and filmmaking and
Yep,
comedy.
Sure. So when I was 9, 10, around that age, I started getting into acting a lot. I started doing a lot of the plays in my primary school and I started really enjoying it. I was doing a lot of public speaking and so forth. And then from when I was about, 12, as soon as I started high school, I thought this is definitely something I wanted to do. I always wanted to be an entertainer, always wanted to be a performer. And I was always more on the comedic side of acting. So I'd always try to get a laugh and things like that. And I was always a bit of a class clown. And then I started doing a lot more improvisation. And I guess the natural step after that was to try my hand at stand-up comedy. And a lot of people will say, their first gig was they were really nervous and it was quite nerve-wracking. It was actually the opposite to me. I get more nervous now than when I did my first stand-up gig because I was about 15 and I had absolutely nothing to lose. I was like, let's just have a go at this and see what happens. And I think as a result, it went quite well. And since then, I've definitely thought this is also something I wanted to do. I want to keep going with the stand-up comedy and still keep going with the acting and move more into directing and writing. And yeah, I've been lucky enough to be able to do all those things and do them full time now for a couple of years.
Comedy is so hard, I would imagine, because I'm not that funny. And it's probably one of my worst nightmares, having to stand in front of a group of people and make them laugh.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And what was the thing about comedy that you wanted to do?
If you have an opinion or if you have something you want to say, it's a really effective medium to say certain things because you're veiling it behind laughter. And when people are laughing at things, they're really listening and they're really taking it on board. So I think that was partly why I was very attracted to the art form. And in terms of just actually wanting to get up in front of people and making them laugh. I don't know, I guess probably came down to me being a bit of an attention seeker in high school and wanting to just get up there and really try to get as much attention as I can, and I guess that progressed into comedy. I feel more comfortable on stage, funnily enough, than I do sometimes in a party and things like that, so it's just something I feel really comfortable with.
Because I think that's true I don't really know many comics, and I'm just kind of speaking from a general kind of place.
For sure.
With comedians, that a lot of the time they're actually quite shy in person. On stage they're bravado and hilarious and funny, and then off stage there's kind of a quiet side to them where they're introverted and they kind of have this kind of, not a dark side, but just a more of a quiet demeanour.
It can be a dark side sometimes. Well, that was a bit creepy, actually. I shouldn't have said it like that. But look, it's I think a lot of comedians are quite observant, and they will sort of observe the people around them and observe the way people interact and the way society works, and then they'll go on stage and speak and be loud and really talk about what they observe. But when they're sort of in, I guess, normal society, they're just taking it all on board and really taking everything in. And I think that's why you get a lot of comedians who are a bit more introverted and aren't necessarily the loudmouths and the, very out there kind of people that you might expect. I think there's definitely a scale. I think with comedians, they're either exactly like their stage persona or they're the complete opposite. Yeah. And I don't think you get too many that are in the middle. So I'd say I'm probably quite different to my stage persona. I probably am a bit more, I wouldn't say introverted, but I'm quieter in person and a bit more just within myself.
Your subjects that you talk about in comedy and in your films, they're very, very strong messages, I suppose.
I think that's always been the style I've aimed for. I've always wanted to appeal to a wide audience, but also have sort of nuanced content where people can look deeper into it. And a lot of my content can be quite controversial, and it's never just controversial for the sake of being controversial. I'm always trying to evoke some sort of thought from it, or spread some sort of message or make people think about a particular issue.
When we think of you, what do we think of?
I wouldn't say I have one particular message throughout my content. There are certainly recurring themes that I explore, and as you say, youth and Gen Y and sort of race is definitely a big one, and the media and social issues and things like that are definitely things that I do explore. But no, I don't think I would say I have one particular overriding message or theme throughout my content. It would really just depend on the particular piece of content I'm putting out at the time.
I think, if I'm going to, give my thoughts on it,
I would say
I feel like it's sort of like we're just all humans in this world.
Absolutely.
Everyone's just trying to get through. We're all from different backgrounds, from different families, from different races.
Absolutely.
We're girls, we're boys, we're all of it.
Yeah.
And everything's okay. Everyone's good, everyone's fine. Let's just calm down a little bit and just accept each other for who we are.
Definitely,
Have a bit of a laugh about it.
I agree.
Carry on.
100%, especially in today's climate. A lot of that sort of really heated social debate comes from a good place, and it comes from a place to want to do good for the world. But like you said, I think it probably, with social media and things like that, it has become a bit of a storm in today's age, and all of us probably need to take a bit of a step back and just remember, like you said, that we are all humans, we're all individuals primarily, and we need to just get along with each other and have a laugh. Yeah. It's always the best, isn't it?
What makes you laugh? What just cracks you up?
My sense of humour has actually become, I'm not going to say completely dark, but I do like the inappropriate humour. I do like the sort of humour that, a few people might tense up about. And I think that's just because I've been exposed to so much. So it's almost like a drug in a way. I need a harder hit each time. I've always liked the sort of comedy that I do. So, social commentary, and I've always enjoyed racial comedy, and my favourite comedians growing up were people like Chris Rock. Yeah. He's always been my number one guy. And he has a way of just being so controversial and so outlandish and so in your face with what he says, but at the same time really makes you think. And, you know, I enjoyed him as a teenager, just as a character. This guy's so funny, but I look at him now and I think, wow, he's really, really making a point with everything he says, and every punchline is really well thought out and really well constructed. And, you know, he's someone that if my career is, you know, 1/10 as good as his is, I'd be very happy. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, you're on the path, that's for sure.
Oh, thank you.
How do you come up with these ideas? Is it just like living your life and you're like chatting with your friend and they say something weird and you're like, hold on, that's, you know, how does it all come together for you?
It really depends on the type of video. So if it's a video where I'm talking about more, you know, social interactions or a particular thing that people do, being observant, then yeah, it would come down to just a couple of mates hanging around and, oh, that's weird how they do that, or it's weird how people do this. And the other thing is, obviously, I try to, you know, keep a keen eye out on the media and what the issues are that, you know, everyone's talking about. If I see something that's a bit strange or to me is a bit weird, I'll always try to comment on that in a comedic way.
Your video, Modern Education, is so interesting to me.
Thank you. Thank you very
it's
much.
just a whole bunch of different people with all their issues and exactly what we've been talking about, their race, their social status, their gender, all coming together, and just it's one big conversation about all of the different thoughts that everyone's having.
Absolutely,
It's hilarious.
Thank you.
And super smart all at the same time.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate
No, it's
that.
good. And you write all of that?
Yes, I wrote it. Yeah,
You
I
are
wrote
smart.
it.
You're a
And,
smart person.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what about, because your parents are Indian, we were just talking about this, your parents are both Indian.
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine your mum and dad sitting in your show and you're like, F-bomb here and this, that, and all your
There's a few of those,
opinions.
isn't there? Yeah.
How is your mother? Is she okay?
She's okay now. She's come
Yes.
around to it. But to begin with, especially with some of my earlier videos that were very well, aggressive, to say the least, and quite crude, she was a bit uneasy, especially when I dropped out of university. But she's come around to it now, and she's seen that I've been doing it for quite a while. And I don't think it's even an Indian thing. I think any mother would have seen that and been a bit, whoa, what have I done? What have I created? But no, she's definitely, she's very supportive now, and they've both definitely come around to it. And yeah, they're quite proud, I'm happy to say. And I'm very happy to have them. And they were always very supportive of my my comedy ventures throughout high school and later in my life. I've not a bad word to say about them.
Oh, that's so sweet. Very nice. I hope my sons say that about me one day.
I'm sure they will.
What about, have you got any brewing ideas on what you might like to make your next short film on or comedy show?
Yeah, absolutely. So already there's one in the pipeline. We've filmed, like I said, that Modern Education one, we filmed that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's only now that it's really getting its sort of second wind. When it first came out, it was so different to everything else I had done on the internet. So myself and my friend Tim, who worked on it quite a lot, we sort of said, we'll be happy if it gets, 50,000 views or something like that, which for a short film we would have been amazed about. And within a week it had nearly 2 million. So
how does that happen? How does this viral thing, it's just viral, isn't it? It just catches on.
It's just organic, and one person shares it, and then a few other people share it, and I think it's beautiful. I really love the internet because you can never force content to go viral. You can never really, if it's going to go viral, it's going to go viral because everyone's on Facebook, everyone's on YouTube. Yeah. And I think as a result, there's going to be a big boom in internet content, and I think the internet's really going to be the place where all the best content is in the medium to long term. So I really love the internet, and I really love that anyone can get on there and post whatever they want, and they don't need to, find a massive budget to do it necessarily. You can just do it. You can just film it on your little phone if you want to.
Yeah, you're literally growing up on the internet.
Exactly. So I started when I was, my first video I posted when I was like 13. When I was a teenager, that was all we were doing. We were just looking at viral videos and looking at YouTube videos. So I knew how powerful it could be as a medium, and I always wanted to use it and harness it.
Is being internet famous the same as being like a celebrity?
Because I think there's that personal connection on the internet, a lot of people feel like they're just friends with them.
Yeah.
So you do get a lot of people coming up asking for selfies and, hey, it's the guy from the internet and things like that. And the other big thing is now it's definitely changed, but probably 4 or 5 years ago when I just started, there wasn't a lot of money to be made on the internet. So there was you could generate a huge audience, but I was still out there just, catching public transport. I still do, but it's funny because the people that recognize you, that you're like this crazy entity, that they're, oh my God, you're the guy from the internet. Whereas, I still just had my little job. I was, what was I doing? I was teaching swimming or something like that. And
oh my gosh, I did that job.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I taught the little kid, bubble, breathe, things like that. And
I did that job.
oh, it was,
it's important for people to learn how to swim.
Exactly.
I stand by that.
It is very important.
Does the selfie thing happen every day? People coming up to you all the time?
It really depends, sort of what sort of people I'm around. So, generally my audience and the internet audience is on the younger side of the spectrum. So if I'm hanging around near a university or something like that, then it would happen quite a bit. But I guess if I'm hanging around people with an older demographic, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But it does tend to happen most days, I guess.
Yeah.
And,
do you like it? How do you feel about that?
Oh, look, when I look at it in the bigger picture, I'm like, this is awesome. People are recognizing me for what I do. But, everyone has their bad days. And some days I'm in a bad mood and I just want to, sit down with my hood on and put my earphones on and try to, give off the vibe that, look, I'd rather just keep to myself right now. But I'm always happy to, meet people and take a selfie and things like that.
What's the most favourite part about your job and what you do?
Well, as cliche as it sounds, I'm doing what I love, and this has always been my passion. And I guess it's that old adage: if you make your passion your job, you won't work a day in your life. And I think I'm living that. So I get to wake up every morning and do something that I genuinely love doing, and a lot of people know me for that, and I'm recognized for that, and it's so exciting and it's quite surreal still. And sometimes I have to take a step back and think, wow, this is happening, and I achieved it at such a young age as well, so it's quite humbling. And I get to just go out there and make people laugh for a living, and that's awesome.
What if the internet just went away tomorrow? Okay. There was no internet.
There goes my career.
Right? So what matters to you the absolute most? I know that it's not going anywhere, but if it did, what are those things that ground you and make you you?
Well, obviously your friends and your family are the big things that will probably keep me sane. If the internet were to crash, I probably wouldn't be too happy. But I always saw the internet as, it's a medium, it's like your TV, radio, anything like that. I'll still be creating, I think. I'll still be doing live stand-up, live performance, and
you probably create the internet.
I'll create the internet 2.0.
I've got this idea.
Yeah.
It's called the internet.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll be a bazillionaire.
Imagine that if you could go back in time and be like, hey, I'm going to create this thing called the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Connect everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really would be you'd be way too rich for your own good, I think. Well, I think it was the government, like the American government. It was like an army thing to begin with in the 80s. Yeah. And then they're like, hey, we'll just give this out to the mass market. And
so smart.
A lot of things, apparently a lot of things start off as like an army thing, which is, I guess, an indictment, so to speak, on we bring out our best when we're in conflict with one another. But then when it gets out there to the public domain, it's always a good thing. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, 23, life is ahead of you.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, for the last year or two, I've really wanted to be one of the internet people who can break into mainstream media and really develop a mainstream presence, and whether that be probably more so in the acting side of things, but I'm also keen to, do whether it be panel shows or interviews and things like that. So that's always been a big goal of mine. I would love to eventually break into an American audience, and I think with the few films that I'm doing, they're definitely quite global in their appeal, so that's very exciting. I think I'm making some good inroads there. So
great. That's always the dream.
Yeah,
America.
Definitely. America. For any entertainer, I think that's the dream. So I think, yeah, like I said, 23. So by my late 20s, I'd love to be there and love to be there full time and really trying to, you know, be the cliche little actor, trying to make it in whether it's LA or New York, trying to make it there. But yeah, that's just the goal. Just keep growing and, you know, develop audiences all over the place, basically. And
world domination, I think, is what you're trying to say.
That's all.
Internet domination.
Yeah, you know. I don't want much in life, just world domination. That's it.
Just a small thing like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you are about to cross over into mainstream.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
talk
exciting.
about that.
I'm be doing a show for ABC2 next week.
Crazy.
Filming that, which is awesome to say the least, and it's very exciting. I will be going out into regional towns in Australia, regional areas, and under the guise of being, you know, the city person who doesn't know a lot about regional Australia.
Yeah.
I mean, I know a little bit, but yeah, I'll be doing all the country things, so shearing sheep and milking cows and, you know, all the things they get up to out in the out bush. So
amazing.
I'll be documenting my experience doing that.
So it's like reality, is it? Or is it, are you playing yourself?
I guess it's a sort of, doco reality type thing. I'll be sort of presenting the show, so I wouldn't say it's, I mean, I won't be acting, so in that sense, I guess it's reality, but it's
more
sort of
doco,
travel, travel doco in a way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be
Very
hilarious.
exciting. I hope so, yeah.
Have you ever shorn a sheep?
No, I don't. Maybe when I was a little kid, I might have, but not for a very long time. I can't imagine it being easy. Don't know what to expect. Don't know what I'm going to be in for, but
I can't wait to see it.
I can't wait to do it.
I'm excited for your future. I'm excited for your world domination.
Thank you.
And honestly, you're a smart little cookie. And thank you for giving us things to think about.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
For being funny and making us laugh.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the tea.
Absolutely,
and thanks
anytime.
for advertising tea, because I'm a big tea fan, like I said. So
there needs to be more of it in the world.
Cheers to tea, I guess.
to tea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neel.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.